Good evening and welcome to the Sweet Life Cooking Demonstration, October 2021. My name is Megan Gonzalez. I'm a registered dietitian and certified diabetes care and education specialist at the Mary and Dick Allen Diabetes Center at Hoag. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Our theme is Fall Comfort Foods. If you have any questions throughout our class today, please write them in the chat box and we will be answering them throughout our class today. So I'm here today with Chef Davis Cruz from Hoag, our executive chef. So I will turn it over to Chef.
Well, welcome. Thank you, Meg.
Yes.
I'm Davis Cruz. I'm the executive chef here at Hoag, Newport Beach, and I also support Irvine, Hoag Irvine. I've been a chef for over 40 years, and I've been a diabetic for over 25 years. So this is dear to my heart. And when people say how hard it is to live with diabetes, and I say, yes, it is, but it can be managed. If I can manage it, I'm the chef, and I'm around food all day long, so I'm able to sustain and withhold my cravings, correct? Because we do crave sugar. And if you balance your daily meals, you'll be able to have a successful life, no complications, and you'll be able to live a very happy, fulfilled life. So, without any further ado, should we start cooking, or
yes,
should I talk a little more? Should we talk a little more?
Sure.
So, few rules that I want to enforce, because I'm the enforcer here at the Diabetes Center. Everything that we put in our mouth has a consequence, either positive or negative. So we have to be mindful of what we eat. And with that said, we have a class coming in October the 30th at the Huntington Beach Senior Center, and I will tell you a little bit more if you stick around into the end of this class. And I will tell you what's going to happen. And I might tell you what the menu is. Maybe, maybe not. All right, so with no further ado, let's start cooking. So I want to do this garden vegetable white bean chili. And so we chose the white beans because it's
fall, and
fall,
it's a good comfort food.
And we're going to do a chili recipe, which is, our weather's been kind of chilly in the morning. So,
right.
And at nighttime, it's be great, correct? So let's start cooking.
Yes.
All right, so I have olive oil, which is non-saturated fat, and is really good for you.
One of the most heart-healthy oils, very high monounsaturated fat.
Correct. And folks, always pay attention to the olive oil that you're buying. Not all the olive oils are the same, so just to make sure that if they have any blends, correct? So if I'm going to use it for high heat, it's okay to use olive oil blend with canola oil, or oil blend with grapeseed oil, correct? That withstand the high heat. So I'm just going to add it to the pot. I'm going to increase my temperature. So I'm going to add the onions, and I'm just going to sweat them, okay, to extract all the flavor and the sweetness of the onion. So we let it sweat for a minute. While that's happening, I'm going to cut the rest of the vegetables. So here we have our cauliflower and our green zucchini. Believe it or not, cauliflower has gained this popularity because we can grill it, we can steam it, we can even make mashed potatoes. That's been the latest crave.
And
correct?
rice too.
And rice, correct? So rice is also now being manufactured to be able to make it in a rice cooker. And we can also cut as a steak. So first of all, when you get the cauliflower, just leave the wrapping and then cut it, okay? So then what I do is I try to cut this piece out and open it. So it kind of works as my garbage disposal too. And then I take the stem and I cut with a big knife or with a little knife, whatever you're more comfortable with. Okay. Now, rule of thumb is when you're going to cut the cauliflower, you never cut the flower itself. So you either pull it apart, and if I want to have, this is kind of the size that I'm looking for. So if I want to measure the same size, I just cut the stem halfway through and I pull it apart. So then the flower, the cauliflower will remain intact. That kind of helps out in the presentation because the flower part doesn't get breaking apart. So it stays together. So how much cauliflower do I need to add to this? I said about a cup.
2/3 cup
2/3
coarsely
of a cup.
chopped.
So I'm not gonna add it yet. So this will be, so the onions sweating already? Yes, they are. So now I'm going to add my carrots. Carrots is a hearty vegetable. So by the time the rest of the beans and the cauliflower are cooked, the carrots will be nice and soft but not breaking apart. Then I'm going to have my garlic. That's the next that I'm going to throw in. So in other classes, we have talked about the garlic and why we press it first before we chop it, right? Number one, it makes it easy because it doesn't run away. Number two is once you chop it, it's already pre-cut, and you don't have to chop it again. So that goes in. Now I'm gonna cut our zucchini. So by the time I'm done, everybody needs to be able to cut their zucchini and the cauliflower the same way I'm doing it. If not, you're not coming to my class if we ever decide to bring the class back, correct?
Hopefully someday we will.
That will be someday.
Yeah.
I can wait for that first class. I will do something super special.
I'm sure you will.
Okay. So now I have a lot of dry ingredients. We got the oregano, we have cayenne pepper, we got chili powder, we got cumin, we got coriander, we have ground cloves.
Yes.
Okay.
And the cumin.
And we got the
Cumin.
white beans, and the roasted green pepper. Roasted green pepper.
Green chilies. Is
Green
what
chilies,
the recipe
yeah.
says, just so everyone
The roasted
knows.
green chilies. Don't need to take it on the fire, buy a bell pepper, green bell pepper, roast it, peel it. No, just buy in a can. We're actually looking for that flavor. That flavor that is in the can will help you with the recipe. So we're not going to add that yet. So now I'm going to add all my dry ingredients. Okay. You can do either two ways. You can add it, mix the vegetables in a bowl with olive oil and then add it, but that's kind of dirtying more pans, correct? So
right.
Unless you have a dishwasher. I do have them, but I treat them well. Anyway, so I'm gonna do my oregano, my ground cloves, my coriander, my cumin.
And tell us again, Chef, why we're using the dried
Versus
seasonings versus like maybe fresh.
So on the stew, on a soup since we incorporate in the liquid, the broth, so then we will extract that, the flavors of those spices, dry spices. Remember, dry spices started fresh and they dehydrated. So that's why it says use an eighth of a teaspoon, a quarter of a teaspoon, because an eighth of a teaspoon could be 2 leaves of that, could be a fourth of an ounce here. So this is chili. Oh yeah. Another cayenne. Smell it?
I can smell it through my mask.
Yeah.
It smells really good.
So now I'm gonna add my broth. So this I sent one of my guys to buy at Mother's. So you can buy any supermarket, any low-fat, low-sodium vegetable broth works really well. We normally, in our kitchen, we use paste because I do so much volume, but it's kind of hard to get. If you have little cubes, read the label how to dilute it, and then dilute it and add it to it, okay? So red chili, the green chili.
Green chilies.
Goes in there. White beans. And the broth. Ooh, you smell that?
So did you cook the beans yourself, or did you buy them canned?
So these beans, I bought them a can. You have that option of getting white beans in a bag. They're dry. You soak them in water, put them in the refrigerator. Do not leave it outside. Do not leave them outside. Because outside normally the temperature is 67 degrees. Our temperature danger zone is between 40 and 140, so they are right in the danger zone. I remember when I was a kid, my mom would leave it outside, and those things would kind of boil. I'm from Puerto Rico, so it's a lot of humidity and hot. So it will boil, so they take the skim of the foamy part out, and they just boil it. Nothing ever happened. Thank God nothing ever happened. But anyway, that's not a good rule of thumb. If you're soaking anything, like I know people that said, you know what, I want to cook my rice a little faster, so because I want to soak my rice, leave it outside, put it in the refrigerator. It will take the same amount of time because what you're doing is you're incorporating the liquid into the bean or the rice, and it will incorporate it either outside or inside the refrigerator, and it will cook at that less time anyway. So please. Soaking is fine if you have the time. How long? A day ahead. So that's what will work out really well. Okay. So let me have my.
Yeah, when we use the canned beans, rinsing them and draining them will help to reduce the salt, sodium.
Correct.
And plus we're adding so many fresh ingredients that are so low in sodium that the few things we have that have some sodium, really this is considered a pretty low sodium. Somewhat low sodium meal?
Correct.
Because this is most
Hold
of our
on one
meal.
second.
Yes.
My electricity went out a little bit.
Okay.
So give me a second. Technical difficulties, folks. I'm back.
Okay.
That was easy. Okay. All right, show me. There we go. So I'm back. So, well, my electricity went out. I added my zucchinis, all right? And now I'm going to add my cauliflower. I'm just going to wait until it kind of give me a little boil, and then I add my cauliflower, since most of the cauliflower, even though it's nice and dry, is 80% moisture of water. So it will cook quite fast. So I'm going to leave it for last, okay? You should see this, it looks beautiful. So we need to make a good chili. So you bring it to a boil, make sure it's a rolling boil, then you simmer it to maintain an even cooking. And the way you know when it simmers is because it's creating little bubbles on top. And then just let it simmer. Do not cover, because you want to extract, you want that moisture, liquid to evaporate and the flavors to concentrate. If you cover, it just does, a reverse osmosis. So it just, vapors goes up, water comes down, and you're not evaporating or concentrating some of the flavors, okay? The white beans that were used by the Indians back in the day, so it's a cold weather harvest. pots, and they distract the beans, and that's what they sustain themselves back in the Dakotas and the Minnesotas. And so the Indians were actually creating this recipe, not me. I'm just making it right now. So, any further ado, no boiling yet. 1 more minute.
So this is a great plant-based recipe. They're really encouraging everyone, but especially those who are living with diabetes, prediabetes, to eat at least 1 plant-based meal per week. The beans, of course, provide protein, good fiber. They do contribute some carbohydrates, but some carbohydrates are good. We just have to watch our portion sizes. The portion size for this recipe is 1 cup.
That's it?
That's it, Chef. So maybe if, again, depending on how many carbohydrates you eat, you can have your chili and then maybe you add something that's less carbs possibly, or maybe you add something with a little bit of carbs. It really depends on you as an individual and how many carbs you are eating per meal.
What about a nice French loaf of bread to dip it? What do you think?
Portion size, Chef.
Portion size?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I guess not. See what happens when you live with dietitians around you all day long? They always, no, 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 no. So, and the reason I brought in bread too is because what is our biggest, I grew up with bread and rice, okay? Here in California it's tortillas. And so 1 tortilla equals 2 slices of bread. What? Wait, what? What? No, correct? So if you eat 6 tortillas, that's a loaf of bread. So folks, portion control. We can eat whatever you want, portion control.
Right.
Portion control. If you want to eat a cheesecake, well, make sure it's a teaspoon.
There you go.
Get that
Portion
flavor
control.
and enjoy it, and that's it. But don't eat the whole cheesecake because it's not, it will take you 2-3 days to bring that sugar down. And it won't be enough insulin, correct? It will come down, and it will work better if you go out running.
True.
Try to burn it, get that cardio.
Yeah.
So it will work. So I'm waiting for my sopa to boil. And then I will add my cauliflower. So we're almost there, almost there. I don't want to start with the next recipe until this one boils. And it's trip again.
Are there any other vegetables that you could add to this, Chef? Maybe someone doesn't like one of these vegetables that's in the recipe. Do you have any suggestions for substitutions?
Well, the sky's the limit, correct? So we have yellow squash, we in the sweet potatoes now, correct? So yams, white yams, so it will do very, very well here. It's just a matter of when do you need to add those vegetables.
Right.
Not every vegetable cook at the same time, so you have to be able to time it correctly. So that's why recipes are important. Just read the steps, you know, and try to understand. If I want to have broccoli, I can add it, but it will be just totally last minute.
Right.
For the broccoli, because I want to have that crunchiness of the broccoli on it.
Right.
And my power went out again. So here we go.
And of course, the yams sound wonderful. They would add carbs to that, but that
just a
might
little
be
carb,
fun.
portion control.
Yes.
So instead of a cup, will be what, half a cup? But guess
Or
what?
just 1 potato for the whole pot, or, you know, again, portion control, because
Correct.
this makes 6 servings for the whole
Correct.
pot.
He doesn't want to cook today, but we work. He's back on. He just not being happy with me lately. All right. So anyway, he will cook. We get it done. He's coming back alive. There you go. If everything goes perfect, life will be boring, correct?
Right.
And we all say when we were in the class here, many things has happened to us, and we had the best time. So I'm just having a good time here, stressing over my pot that is not heating, but whatever. All right, so anyway, in the meantime, let's move out to our...
We are going to talk about the presentation and garnish for this one, right?
We are?
Aren't
Let's
we?
do that. Shall we? All right.
Unless you want to come back and see if it actually
No, let's
starts
play
cooking.
let's plate it.
Okay.
Let's plate it.
'Cause I like that, because then we can see what's been in your pot this whole time.
Good. Oh, how many ounces?
1 cup.
That's about 8 ounces. Yeah,
That's close.
Yeah, there. Now let's talk about the garnish. So it's not part of the ingredient, but it's part of the garnish. So that's when we take advantage
Yeah, it's
of the garnish.
It's interesting that it includes cheese as a garnish, but it is not included in the nutritional information because it's not one of the official ingredients. But let's talk about garnish.
So we do, what's a garnish? Is that a garnish?
No.
Is that a garnish?
Somewhere in between.
Just kind of in between, all right? So that's your garnish, okay? And if the dietitian is not looking, then you kind of double down. No, just kidding.
I mean, that's going to add very minimal calories, no carbs, so it's just minimal. But that's what a garnish is, just
Correct.
a little extra.
So that's when you go to a restaurant, they said, you want me to grate your cheese? So that's
Right.
kind of the same premise here. The problem is that when you sit in the restaurant and they grate in the cheese, you never say stop, correct? Well, what's wrong with that picture, right? You look away and they, so it's supposed to be a garnish, and that's it. That's it, just a garnish. Oh my God. Well, let's move on.
Okay.
Shall we? All right. Let's do a smoothie. And kale is very predominant now. This is the season for kale. Kale loves fall. And it comes baby kale, regular kale, green kale, multicolored kale, you name it. They have grown these kales any which way. And believe it or not, you can use everything on this kale. Even the stem, correct? So when they cut it, they didn't leave it, it hasn't been cut for a long time, so it still have nice and green. So that means that I can use the whole thing. And this is what I mean. I'm not going to use the whole thing for the juice. I'm just going to cut the stem, because the stem has, all the
nutrients.
So this one, is just to show. It's not part of the recipe or anything, but so if you take the stems and you chop them up, instead of throwing them in the garbage, you saute a little olive oil, salt, pepper, or olive oil and black pepper, or seasoning salt, no salt.
Salt substitute, maybe?
Salt substitute, you can saute them with that, and just put on top of a salad, put on top of your rice. It gives you all the nutrients, and you didn't throw it away, right?
That's interesting.
So now, let's make the
smoothie.
the smoothie.
Kale and avocado smoothie.
So I'm just taking the kale, and just trimming. I'm not putting the stem in it, because I already showed you what we're gonna do. So you just throw them in there. So how much is that, a cup of kale?
Actually, it's only a half a cup of kale.
Oh, but what is a half? Is it a half chop or a half? So that's my half. What's your
This
half?
is your recipe, chef.
That's my half right here.
I think with kale, because it's low calories, really low carb, I think to add a little more than what the recipe said is okay. Whereas something like, the pineapple, we might want to be a little bit more precise.
Correct. So the pineapple is?
That's the 1 cup for the pineapple.
The 1 cup, yeah. And what I did is I froze the pineapple, so it actually is being my ice cubes. So my pineapple is my ice cube. And then the avocado is 1/8 of a slice, but how do you know the avocado is good? We've gone through this,
Yes, we've
correct?
gone
So
through it.
hopefully somebody in the audience can tell us how. Can anybody tell us why? Why I take out, so the stem, you remove the stem, shows green, my avocado will be nice and green. If the avocado shows brown on the stem, this one is green too. So I even pick it right when I want to pick it wrong. Anyway, so let's see, Mama not through. I say it's all green inside.
Let's see.
See, Mama not through. There you go. Never fails. So this is half. This will be 1/4. And this will be 8.
And again, this is just more for calories and fat. That's what the avocado is mostly contributing. And some potassium too. This is definitely, these are all high potassium. These are both high potassium today. So I apologize for those of you who are watching your potassium. Maybe you just do a smaller portion size.
Correct. Or change avocado for cucumbers.
There you go. That's a great idea.
So now I'm going to have my pineapples to create the weight, correct? So when it blends, and 4 ounces only? My goodness, half of this.
Okay.
One more. Okay, look.
And once again with portion size, because this is another 30 gram of carb item. Maybe, again, this is 2 cups, so maybe if it's better for you, just to do 1 cup for 15 grams of carbs. But it sure looks nice. It looks great.
Like Megan said, watch your carbs. Your carbs will turn into sugar later on, so you have to watch what, you have to be conscious of portion control. And but the amount of exercise you do or not, it has to do with what you eat during the day. What are you mindful of when you're putting food on you? Like right here, you can have the kale, and it doesn't give you just pure nutrients without any carbs. So just learn those little particulars to help you with your diet. We just try in this class, we try to do the best we can to educate and to have a little fun with the meals that we make, and we try to have a good time while we're at it. I enjoy doing that, so I don't actually cook. I just put stuff together and enjoy what I do. But knowing your vegetables, knowing what cooks at what particular time, and especially, how many of us go to the supermarket and buy all the vegetables for the rest of the week. This way you don't have to go back during the week to buy the vegetables. So that means that you're looking for the greenest bananas, correct?
Right.
You're looking for the zucchini or the cucumbers are really hard because you're not going to use it until 3 or 4 days. Well, it works this way. If it's not on the vine and you have it already picked at the house, the ripening process is a process of spoilage. So what's happening is getting ripe before it spoils, and then that's what you're waiting, but it's not gaining any nutrients. By picking it early enough, you don't have a lot of the 100% nutrients that the vegetable or fruit has. So you're eating just that diluted version of the nutrients of that vegetable or fruit. And then when you go to a doctor, he says, well, you're deficient on all of this. And you go, but I eat all my colors, correct? I eat all my vegetables. But you're deficient because to be 100% nutrient savvy or nutrient healthy, you have to kind of pick the vegetables or the fruit right when it's ripened off the vine of the tree. And that's kind of, in our day of age that we're so busy and our life are so busy that we try to buy for the whole week, and then on the weekends is a shopping day, correct?
Right.
And I do that, folks. I do that too at the house. We have no time. The good thing that I have that any of you have, I run a big kitchen that I can take my teaspoon and I taste. And this is actually my breakfast and lunch. It's a lot of tasting that I do, so I don't sit down and eat a meal, but I test our food every day, because with 1 teaspoon, I evaluate whether that cook made the recipe appropriately or not. And then it's an opportunity to teach him, or it's an opportunity to learn. Sometimes they come up with really good dishes. So with that said, Megan, I think I just cook a storm in no time.
Yeah.
Did a chili.
You're not going to believe, but you have a viewer all the way from Zapopan, Mexico.
Oh, wow.
Sergio, he's saying thank you very much for
Oh.
all these classes too.
Oh, thank you, Sergio. Muchas gracias por México. Desde México,
Jalisco.
de Jalisco,
Wow.
México. Muchas gracias por estar en vivo con nosotros. For those of you who did not understand a word I said, I just said we have somebody viewing us from Mexico, Jalisco, Mexico, and I just say thank you in Spanish.
Thank
So-
you for viewing. Yeah, that's
Thank
great.
you for viewing.
That's neat.
Do you want to mention morning of mindfulness?
Do you want us?
Aha.
You got us
So-
hanging, chef.
All right, so everybody hang on. Okay, we have somebody actually tracking how many people sign up. So how many people sign up from the moment we started to now?
Do you have that?
So nobody has signed out? All right, so I'm going to tell you what's going to happen at the Huntington Beach Senior Center on October the 30th. It's from 9 to 12 noon. It's a limited cost because the center believes that if they charge you something, you will show up. It's only $5 per person, the senior center. And we're going to have, all right, stay with me, meditation. We're going to have chair where you sit, yoga. So you'll be sitting and doing yoga. And then you're going to have me. We're going to do a cooking demonstration. And the recipe has to do with chicken. And that's all I'm going to say. Okay? So it's chicken and something. And maybe something to drink depending on how I feel that day. I want to make something a little bit spooky because the next day is Halloween. So I might do something, a drink kind of spooky for you guys. So I hope to see most of you there. You can sign up. I'm not sure if the class is full, so make sure you grab those phone or the website and go in. And I think it's going to be on the chat box right now.
Yeah.
So thank you very much. Ms.
Okay.
May.
Please, if there's any questions, we'll maybe wait another couple of minutes. If you have any questions, we are happy to answer them for you, whether it relates to this or even just a diabetes question or a food question for us. If you have been thinking throughout the class that, gosh, I don't know much about vegetables or carbs, we do have services here at the Mary and Dick Allen Diabetes Center, education. We provide education for people living with diabetes and pre-diabetes and without diabetes. So if you have any kind of needs like that, we would just need a referral from your doctor, and we are more than happy to see you here and provide education. We have 2 locations. We have a diabetes center in Newport Beach and also one in Irvine. So again, have your doctor send a referral and we'd be happy to help educate you. And then again, I think these cooking demos kind of bring together kind of with your knowledge and kind of applying it. Plus it's fun, like you said too, of course. And it's nice to get the recipes as well. So, but yes, we hope you continue to join us as well. as, take part in education if you need to. Any questions?
Cooking demo November 16th.
Okay, so yes, we hope that you will join us for our last and final cooking demonstration of 2021. It will be Tuesday, November 16th at 5:30. And of course, we're going to be doing holiday foods. And November is also National Diabetes Month, so we might have something special for that as well too. So please sign up on our website if you are interested in attending that one. And
we might have a very important guest speaker.
we might. So you have to join us to
Mm-hmm.
find out. And of course, we are planning for next year as well, 2022. So we will be doing more of these cooking demonstrations. Any last words, Chef? Okay.
Can't wait for next year.
Yeah. Well, thank you all so much again for
Thank
joining
you.
us this evening. We hope to see you again, and stay healthy. Have a great night.